Hey friends, we are moving towards section 147, subsection 1, which is the punishment for contravention. So, this is the penalty section or punishment section, which is mainly stating that if a company has made any contravention to the provisions of section 139 to 146, that is in between any of the provisions of section 139 to 146, such company and officer in default shall be punishable as per section 147 subsection 1. Okay, so it is stating that if a company has made any contravention to the provisions of 139 to 146, then such company shall be punishable with a fine of 25,000. That is minimum 25,000, which may extend to 5 lakh rupee. And every defaulting officer, that is in that contravention, if any officer is involved, such officer in default shall be punishable with imprisonment of 1 year. That is maximum imprisonment period is 1 year, and also liable to a minimum fine of 10,000. That is imprisonment of maximum 1 year or fine which is 10,000, minimum 10,000, and which may extend up to 1 lakh rupee. So imprisonment of 1 year or fine or both, that is imprisonment and as well as fine. Okay, so it is mainly stating that a company which has made any default or any contravention to the provisions of section 139 to 146, then such company shall be punishable with a fine which shall not be less than 25,000 but which may extend to 5 lakh, and every defaulting officer of the company shall be punishable with imprisonment which may extend up to 1 year or with a fine of 10,000, that is minimum 10,000 and maximum 1 lakh or both. Okay, then so now we covered what punishment for contravention in this is that punishment was applicable to the company and defaulting officer. Next is what auditor. If auditor has committed or if auditor has made any default in complying with the provisions or not complying with the provision, if auditor has made any contravention to the company's act 2013, so which are the section? Suppose he is the auditor of the company and he has made what contravention to the provisions of 139 or 143 or 144 or 145, then such auditor shall be punishable with a fine minimum 25,000, okay, which can extend up to a maximum of 5 lakh. Okay, so minimum 25,000 and maximum 5 lakh rupee, or 4 times of the amount of remuneration whichever is less, that is 5 lakh or 4 times of remuneration whichever is less. Minimum they have to make the payment of 25,000 rupees. Suppose if they are getting what audit fee of 1,50,000, then 1,50,000 into 4, it is what 6 lakhs, then 6 lakh or 5 lakh, whichever is less, 5 lakh. Suppose if they are getting remuneration 1 lakh, in that case 1 lakh into 4 times 4 lakh, then compare 5 lakh and 4 lakh, whichever is like, that is what 4 lakh. So it is stated that if an auditor who has been appointed in a company he is making any contravention to the provisions of section 139 or 143 or 144 or 145, that auditor shall be punishable with a fine of minimum 25,000 which can extend up to maximum rupees 5 lakh or 4 times of the amount of remuneration whichever is less. I hope got the point. Next, the same case is again discussing. Suppose he is the auditor, right? He is the auditor of the company. Auditor, he done, that is such a contravention has been done knowingly or willfully. That is, these types of contravention has been done by the auditor intentionally or knowingly or willfully with an intention. What was the aim or what was the main objective behind that contravention? To deceive company or shareholders or creditors or tax authorities. That is, auditor is intentionally making such a contravention with a purpose or mainly for the purpose of deceiving the creditors, shareholders, members or the company, income tax authorities, etc. In that case, what will happen? He is punishable with an imprisonment of 1 year or fine max minimum 50,000 and which can extend up to 25 lakh or 8 times of the remuneration. So he is seriously doing something false or something what very serious, serious fraud has been done in this case. So the punishment amount will be or the penalty amount will be very high. Here in the previous case there in the previous case there was no imprisonment to the auditor because he is making such a contravention, but not there is not having any intention to deceive such category of people. But after it is stated that he is making such a contravention mainly for the purpose of deceiving what company, shareholders, creditors, tax authorities. In that case, he get what imprisonment of 1 year, maximum 1 year, or minimum fine 50,000, which may extend up to 25 lakh or 8 times of the remuneration of the auditor, whichever is less, or both is applicable. That is, fine and imprisonment is applicable. In few cases, fine or imprisonment, and also there is a possibility of getting punishment of fine and imprisonment. Hope you get it. That is, auditor of the company who is making such a contravention mainly for the purpose of deceiving these category of people: creditors, shareholders, that is members, company, income tax authority, then he shall be punishable with imprisonment of 1 year, and for a fine of 50,000, which is minimum and which may extend up to 25 lakh or 8 times of the remuneration that the auditor is received, whichever is less. So this is what section 147 subsection 1 and 147 subsection 2. 147 subsection 1 means punishment on contravention which is applicable to the company and defaulting officer. 147 subsection 2 is applicable, that is a punishment for the contraventions of the provisions of section 139 or 143 or 144 or 145. This is applicable to auditor. Okay. Hello, we are moving towards section 147 subsection 3. That is, the entire 147 is have had some amount of changes. Okay, so you have to make a careful study on section 147. This is the punishment section because this is also applicable to the auditor. Okay, then what is provided in section 147? Where an auditor has been convicted under section 147 subsection 2, we have already discussed what 147 subsection 2, what is happening in section 147 subsection 2. So it is stated that where an auditor has been convicted under section 147 subsection 2, then what? He shall be liable to. For which he is liable? Refund the remuneration received from the company. Okay, and pay for damages to the company, statutory bodies or authority, or to the members, creditors of the company for loss arising in due to or out of incorrect or misleading statement, particulars made in his audit report. That is, he is doing what? Serious fraud or serious errors while reporting. So in that case, due to that report, they may have what? Losses or damages to the company itself or to the members or the statutory bodies or the income tax authorities, creditors, etc. So the auditor who made such a default is also responsible to make the payment of what? Such fine or payment of the damage for the damages that was happened to this category of people. Right, friends? So it is mainly stating that, suppose this is the auditor of the company. He has issued what? Audit report where 147 subsection 2 contravention happened. That is, he has been contravened what? Section 139 or 143, 144 or 145 of the Companies Act 2013 with an intention to deceive what? These category of people, that is company, statutory regulatory body, income tax authority members, creditors, etc. So because of that audit report, because of the wrong information in the audit report, it is possible or it is sure that this category of people have or this category of people will suffer because they are using the audit report in which incorrect or misleading statements are included. Okay, so for that the concerned auditor is required to refund the remuneration which has been received from the company. That is, he is required to make the refund of remuneration or audit fee which has been received from the company. Then what? He should pay damages. He should pay damages to whom? Company, statutory regulatory body and authorities, members, creditors, because of any wrong statement which has been involved in his audit report, which has been included in his audit report, and that may cause damages to this category of people. So it is the responsibility of the auditor to pay for that damages or to contribute towards that damages. Right? I will explain once more. here he is the concerned auditor of the company. He is making what? Wrong or contravention to provisions of section 113 and 143 and 144 or 145, and these are included. That is, this audit report is made after making such a contravention. So because of that contravention, it will adversely affect these category of people, that is members, creditors, company, statutory regulatory board, credit and income tax authority, etc. Okay, so he is, that is the concerned auditor who has been appointed in the company and who has made such contravention, is liable to make the refund of audit fee. That is, if he has been intentionally done that contravention. Okay, plus he is also required to make the payment of damages to that category of people, that is company, statutory regulatory body, authority, members, creditors, etc. Okay, so this is what section 147 subsection 3, where auditor is required to make the refund of remuneration. Normally cash is coming to the auditor, but in this case cash is going from the auditor to the client. Okay, so the auditor is required to make the refund of remuneration and pay for the damages which has been happened because of his default or the contravention that he has made. Okay, this section is nothing, that is 147 subsection 4, which is mainly stating that central government shall by a notification specify any statutory body or authority or an officer for ensuring prompt payment of damages to the company. That is, for the purpose of ensuring the deserved person is getting their damages, CG by notification specifies statutory body or authority for the purpose or for ensuring what? The payment of damages. So section 147 subsection 4 is stating that CG by notification prescribe body of authority or a statutory body for the purpose of ensuring payment of what? Damages. Okay. So next section is 147 subsection 5. This is mainly stating that audit firm, right? Audit firm which has, that is, the audit firm has been appointed as the auditor of the company and they are conducting the audit engagement. Okay, so and it has been proved that partners of the audit firm, we know that there will be have partners, no doubt. So the partners of the audit firm acted in a fraudulent manner, or they made some abetted or colluded in any fraud. That is, it can be done, such a fraud can be done or done by the partners of the audit firm, or they may involved in committing that fraud or doing that fraud which has been done by the company or directors, officers, etc. Then what happened? No, yeah, absolutely sure that the punishment will be applicable. So they have civil liability and as well as criminal liability. Civil liability and as well as criminal liability. Civil liability, joint and several responsible, that is for payment of fine. Both audit firm and as well as the partners who is in default shall be jointly and severally responsible. Then what happened to the criminal liability? In case of a criminal liability of an audit firm in respect of liability other than fine, that is, criminal liability means liability other than fine. So in that case what happened? Who will bear that criminal liability? Concerned partners who acted in a fraudulent manner or abetted or as the case may be colluded in any fraud shall only liable. That is, for criminal liability, the concerned partners, that is concerned partners who involved in fraud or who have the knowledge of that fraud or who has done or the audit in a fraudulent manner or abetted or colluded shall be liable for the criminal liability. But for civil liability, who is responsible? Partners of the audit firm and firm jointly and severally responsible. So this is what section 147 subsection 5, which is mainly stating that where a partnership firm, that is audit firm, has been appointed as an auditor of the company and where itself the partners has been involved in fraud or they have the knowledge of the fraud or they have done the act in a fraudulent manner or what, colluded or they abated, etc. In that case the concerned, that is the partners and as well as the firm, have joint and several responsibility regarding civil liability, and concerned partners, that is that partners or concerned partners who acted in a fraudulent manner shall be liable for criminal liability, that is for imprisonment. Criminal liability means liability other than fine. Okay, so these partners and as well as audit firm joint and several responsibility in respect of what? Civil liability. But on criminal liability, the concerned partners who has made such a default shall be liable. Okay. Here it has been legal language is provided. Where in case of an audit of a company being conducted by an audit firm, okay, audit firm, it is provided that the partners of the audit firm has the partner or partners of the audit firm has or have acted in a fraudulent manner or abetted or colluded in a fraud by or in relation to by the company or its directors or officers, then the liability, whether civil or criminal, as provided in this act or in another law for the time being in force for such act shall be the partner or partners concerned of the audit firm and of the firm jointly and severally, provided that in case of a criminal liability of an audit firm in respect of liability other than fine, that is criminal liability other than fine, the concerned partner or partners who acted in a fraudulent manner or abetted or colluded in any fraud shall only liable. So in case of any civil liability, the concerned partner, that is the partners and as well partner or partners or what firm jointly and severally responsible. Criminal liability, that is a liability other than fine, only the concerned partners who has made such a default or such a fraud is liable. Okay, this is what section 147 subsection 5.